What's going on, car guys and car gals? Good morning. This is Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
And this is Fred Lenartz, the subprime hero.
And we are brewing solutions on the Car Guy Coffee podcast. Good morning.
Woo!
Thank you so much for joining us. Do us a favor. Since you are here, go ahead and start tagging car guys.
Sharing.
Tagging car gals.
Sharing.
And share. Get it out there, everybody.
Make sure to get out there. We have a special guest here today, folks. Do you guys feel like getting lucky?
Do you
know what I mean? I know
lucky?
I do. I feel like getting lucky. And today we have a special guest all the way down from Amarillo, Texas.
Amarillo.
Woo! Street
Amarillo.
Volkswagen owner. We are talking about John Luciano. Man, this is a gentleman. This is somebody that we have the honor to meet a couple weeks back at the Now 21 event, David Villa's spot. Wow. He came with fire that day. He was bringing some just energy. You could feel the love for the business inside of him. You could feel the passion of helping other people grow inside of him. You could feel so much experience inside of him that he just wants to pour out to other people. I cannot wait to hear his story. I cannot wait to hear from
and
the
his
beginning.
name preceded himself. So
Come on now.
We heard
when you hear that name, you already know.
From Ron G, who's up in
Come
here.
on now.
Good morning. Let's go.
Garv, what's up, Garv?
And he told us about this incredible person. But when we saw him, we were like, that's got to be him. That's him right
That's him
there.
right there. Yep.
And he was inside of the room and we were pumped up. And then he gave us the opportunity to speak, did a little bit of footage with us, did a small interview. He like flipped it on us just like that.
He did. He flipped it on us.
You guys. And he just all of a sudden, you know what? I'm going to interview you. What's up now? And we were like, whoa, okay, well, we're being interviewed. That was so awesome. And I'm just thinking about how smooth he pulled that off. But folks, there are incredible, great things that are going on. So get your friends in here, tag them up, go ahead and drop a coffee cup emoji inside of the comments so that people know that cheers, we are brewing solutions and we are getting lucky today. Let's go ahead and get him in here. Mr. John Luciano. Yeah.
That's a lot of energy for this early in the morning. I got to give you guys credit.
That's that car guy coffee.
And I literally just had my first sip of coffee. And that's just straight natural energy right there. But no, seriously, we're getting lucky in Kentucky right now. And we have John Luciano here. Okay. I appreciate you. I know it's your nickname, and that's why we keep talking about that. It's perfect with that last name, Luciano. Folks, we all know what's going on. Make sure you don't talk bad about him because you may be sleeping with the fishes.
You better watch it.
Forget about it, right?
The funny part is I see your, on your T-shirt, you've got the special roast. And growing up in an Italian family, there was not a lot of hugs. There was a lot of toughness, right? And if you were unhappy or crying or something, Dad just made you laugh. He laughed your way out of it by roasting you.
That's
so Sunday night dinners usually were about a 30-minute roast. It was kind of like it is on Blue Buds. Everybody had to be there and you kind of gathered around, but the conversation was a whole lot different. To bring some tough skin. So
but that's great. But that was the love, and you knew that roasting was love, and that was a different way to show love. I love that.
There's no question. His whole way of teaching us, and he was just amazing. He was incredibly witty. But one of the biggest things that he taught us is that those moments they're just very few, and they're vital. Little things happen, and almost T-shirts that used to say crap happens or whatever. It was there, but in his mind, everything else in life was so big and so wonderful that just enjoy that. Get over these things and kill the drama and move on about life. And what about the rest of your day? And what about all the good things that happen? So it was it was a great lesson to learn that those are little things and just how much your friends mean to you and how much having the opportunity to have conversations like we're having this morning. Those are the important things in life. You're going to have your setbacks. You're going to have your bumps. And in 42 years in the car business, I've had plenty of them. Plenty of downtime, but sure had some wonderful uptime. And, you get to this point, all you remember is the uptime.
Oh, no doubt about it. And I love that. And that's why you're in the spirit that you are in now. You're definitely a great leader. I hear Ron, when I talk to Ron talks about a lot of things in his life. He's an amazing person. He's really trying to grow, but he throws so much love at you. He talks about how you encourage him, how having an owner like you, working for somebody like you really helps him be the best version of himself, allows him to become who he wants to become. Now, not a lot of owners do that. A lot of owners try to put shade on people. They like that. Hey, whoa, this is your position. That's all I want you to do. And you definitely are one. And when I met you, you were like, no, I've been there. I'm ready to watch other people get there. Absolutely. And that is something that made me go, I came back to Lou and I told him you said that. And I was like, dude, I really like John. That's just somebody that when you just said that, I honestly felt so happy for Ron. I was like, man, Ron really has a good person that he can look up to. Seriously, like that's a great thing to know. So I am so excited to have you here on the show. I'm excited to hit you with this 5-liner. But before we do anything, we always do the 3 Fs.
That's right. We always apply 3 Fs into our life so that we can keep growing. So help us. Real quick, John, as we wipe off the weight of unforgiveness, we focus on where it is that we're going and we get ready to fly so that we can keep growing. Join us as we do the secret handshake, which he was in the room when we had the chance to do that.
Yeah, he did the secret handshake at the Now 121. He was there.
But join us real quick, car guys and car gals. Let's get this party started right. On 3, let's forgive, focus, fly. 1, 2, 3.
Forgive, focus, fly.
And keep growing, keep growing, keep growing.
Yes, sir. You are in the club now again, official. So before we get going too deep into jumping into this 5-liner, car guys and car gals, remember there's incredible people that we are able to do business with, and we want to give honor to that. This man is inside of the cafe right now because of the honor that was shared with him from people that work with him, people that are growing with him. So do yourselves a favor and make sure that you connect to other people that are bringing great honor to your day. That is at the center of the core value of a solutionary, is to operate with great honor. And speaking of great honor, Dealership Toolkit is bringing some incredible tools to your dealership to help shift what your actual business is doing. There's so much that you don't get the chance to see, and I love the transparency that's with them, and they find a way to just bring it all together. Like a puzzle.
So once again, make sure that you connect with the right people that are putting the right tools inside of your dealership. And this right here is a master craftsman inside of his own business. And I love that he's here. Again, just the honor that he has and he operates in. The first thing he did with his camera that's on him is he turned it to us. And that's what a great leader does. And that's why I'm excited to get this 5-liner going.
Man, no doubt.
We're going to talk more about people that we love, and we're thankful for being in the room. Terry Tourline jumped inside of the cafe.
Thank you, Terry, for closing out the room for improvement. We left with a handful of people left, and we asked Terry to take over, Mr. Smooth himself, and Terry killed it. I promise you. He's so smooth. So he needs to have his own radio show. He's like, hi, Terry Tourline, 96.5, you know. Anyway, but no, I absolutely love it. No, we're happy to be here, man. This 5-liner is really important questions, man. My first question that I ask everybody is the same one. And it's your why, your purpose. What drives you every single day, John, to become the best version of yourself?
Well, you know, the ability to be able to get to learn and to be in the position that we're in. And, you know, our mantra here at the store was we took the franchise and we actually opened the store on one core principle, and that was to be able to give back to our community that's done so much for us, but to provide, you know, what we hope to be 50 good jobs that put people's lives on track like it did for me, right? Getting in the business, learning the business, helping to make people understand that there's a lot of people that have a bad view of the car business, and they're just wrong. Because I can tell you, most of my dealer friends and my compadres, whatever, they're the most giving people in the world. Right? We step out and we do. If you look around your city, you're going to see that a lot of the big bucks and a lot of the manpower are going to be produced by those car dealers. Things through NADA, TADA, the reach out. So for us, it was about providing those jobs and then being mentors and giving back, you know, to pass along all the things that people taught us. Now, the industry's made such a wild turn since I've been a part of it, since the 70s, and it's really been fun. And so my personal view was to see, I grew up in a car business that people would rather go have a root canal than go buy a car. They looked at it so poorly. And that really hurt me, because I remember, you know, being 16 and buying and selling cars and getting started in all this, how much fun it was and how exciting that was and how proud you were when you did something to your car and go show it off. And you know, when I was young, a car was everything. Getting your driver's license at 16 was monstrous. That was a huge day. You hoped that you could take the day off and mom would take you down there and you took your test. And it was big. And I see all these kids at 16 now that aren't even driving yet. And it just changed so much. And the car was so much a part of our world, and still such a part of mine, from building them and racing them and all the things I got to do, that it gave me as a quality of life. You knew that you had to give something back if you were going to make it go there. And so as you stated with Ron and with my other employees, I'm just a support center now. I mean, this is their show. This is what they do. This is their store, what they do, the ideas they come with. I fly around, I go to 20 groups, I do different things to try and learn so that I can support them with those ideas. But the day-to-day operations and the way that we think and the things that we do is just a total community effort from all of us.
Oh, speaking of
beautiful,
speaking of relationships, speaking of the things that we are ultimately wanting to beat the drum of, to show that this is out there. When people think of a car dealership, in general terms, they don't think of somebody like John Luciano and the heartbeat that he has for the community. What people also seem to forget or not even pay attention to is how so many communities are propped up by auto dealerships. There's so many people that are connected to that full functioning dealership that it does make so much of the economy flow. But often the stigma that's even thrown on car dealers when they are doing great things in the industry or in the community is that they're only doing it for the sale, right? They're only doing it for the recognition. They're only doing it for the publicity. And that has been something that has begun to start dying off the more that people get exposure to seeing who these real owners are, who these real leaders are,
right,
who these real true managers, and building relationships with the salespeople. When they see, no, these people really genuinely want to help. These people really want to help the community. They really want to influence the right relationships, right? They're not the ones that are tearing down the bar or creating the ruckus in the town. These are people that are also propping up the churches, right? Are the ones fixed inside of the community. That's something that I love seeing more and more and more. And it used to be like, why do we have to work so hard to convince people that we're good people, that the car business is a good place for good humans, right? And I just love and honor that you and the people that you influence are doing that. But that's what's key about a great car guy or about a great influencer, is that you are affecting your relationships, your community, and your business. And you're doing that.
There's no question. The car business has become such a level playing field. When I got into it, you had a lot of the imports really were better cars. They lasted longer. They had a lot better content. And so there was a differentiation. Now, I don't think there is. We all build a great car. Warranties have been extended 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. So it's very even. So now, just like in any other sport or anything else, once you've leveled the playing field, now it's about the players, right? Now it's how your people represent you, how you represent the community. People always remember not exactly what you said, but how you made them feel, right? Is that the difference, right? When you walk into our store, I get people all the time that tell me, man, if one more person offers me coffee or offers to go get me something to drink, I'm going to go nuts. Every person that's walked past me. And, we play the old school, 3 foot, 4 foot rule. Just acknowledge them, say hi. Are you doing okay? Are you wait? And of course, through that, we find a lot of things. Somebody missed somebody and said, no, I've kind of been waiting a little while. Great, no problem. Let me check on it. Let me see what I can do to help that.
Right.
Like going in a good restaurant, right? They bring you water. They maybe bring you some chips and salsa and say, look, we are really busy right now and we apologize. We had a server not show up. So we're running a little bit slow, but I promise you'll still get taken care of and we'll have great food. How long will you sit there and wait? Now, they walk past you 50 times, don't say a word, don't give you anything. Then your mindset is all about how fast can I get out of here? And we work through that. We run a concierge team. It's all about the customer. Take your statement, divide how many cars you sold by how much you spent in advertising. That's about what it's costing you every time one of them's sitting out there. Are you spending $400 to get them and making them mad over $5, $10, $15? Please take the time to understand that. And we realize that. We really focus heavily on that, retaining that customer. People don't buy that much from us because it's Volkswagen. They buy that much because they know what we do. They know we're going to give back, and they see us at all those events participating. Not a sign, not a banner, not throwing money at it. We throw effort at it. We throw time at it, and we physically get there. And it's not at all about representation of the store. It's about letting people know that we care.
That's awesome. And that's exactly what a solutionary does.
I absolutely love Lucky.
So let me go ahead and jump to the second question.
Sure.
What is it that got Mr. Lucky into the car business? What brought you to the industry?
Good question.
At 8 and 9 years old, I was very fortunate to have an older brother and a brother-in-law that raced cars, and I started hanging with them, and I was riding motorcycles and doing different things, and just kind of fell in love with the whole atmosphere of it. Just like you guys in the coffee, it was the smell of gas for me in the morning. Just get out there and get among it, and it became my life. And then I realized, wow, to have those cars and to be able to build those cars and learn these things, I had to give and be a part of it and go kind of do it for free for a lot of years. And then to get into the car business, it meant actually working at a car dealership and starting out as a lot boy, moving cars, shuffling cars, even before I was old enough to even be out there to be a part of it. And then coming up through it, and luckily had friends and mentors that were in the business and got the opportunity to work through them and with them. And then from there, it's just been an incredibly fun, great career that's been wonderful to me and my family.
It's been wonderful to you and your family, and then the other families that you've been able to touch over these decades, right? And you keep pouring that, your legacy. And I know that you're in legacy mode right now, big time. And I love that about you. And what's happening is that you found peace. You know that you're doing the right job. You know that you have a great thing, that you can help change communities. You can help change people. Every car deal affects people's lives in so many different ways. And this is so crazy. When you think about one car deal not only touches the person you sold it to, it's the car maker. It's the people who delivered the car to the dealership. It's the people who wash the car. It's the people who do the paperwork and send it to get the title done. It's the people who, it's so many hands that it's helping. It's so many things. And then the taxes that go to the county and to the state, and you just keep it going, and you keep it seeing what happens with every transaction that gets made and how many lives get touched. It's beyond numbers. It's called legacy. It's called changing lives. It's called doing the right thing. And what you're doing with your team and what you're doing with people out there, and why you got in this business and why you're continually to stay in this business and to evolve and adapt and become better, is because of that. You're really helping people. You're leaving a legacy, and you're touching more lives than you can imagine. Being at the level where you're at, and Ron just put down here real quick, he just typed in, "We are all a family," and he's 100% right. And that is what that's what Street Volkswagen's about, and that's what you're about, is building a family there. When you have a family, even you're going to argue. Families argue, right? Families are going to sometimes knock heads a little bit, but it's always the best thing. It's out of love. And at the end of the day, if you know your family, that even with an argument, at the end of the day, you're still going to go back to love. It's okay. You're going to have those moments. You're going to grow. You're going to learn from it, and that's the key. And man, I love that, man. John, you're awesome, brother, and I'm so glad you got into business. The business needed other people like you, Lucky, and without you out there, people like Ron wouldn't be as happy as he is. I mean, Ron's all the way from Kansas City. He lives in Texas, and he's working for a guy down there, and it's amazing. You're a great guy, and I know Ron is really pumped up that you're here on the show today.
Yes,
I'm glad to have you here. This is something that I was looking forward to doing. I know we were supposed to do this last week,
yeah,
but schedules happen, and we're so excited that we're doing it right now, because things happen for a reason. It's supposed to happen today, and it's happening right now. So I'm excited for this. So I'm going to get to my third question. And my third question is, it's about the people that you've met on your way in this business. Maybe you weren't in the car business, but we all have mentors. We have people that have helped us, maybe gave us a tip or showed us the way or changed our mind about our mindset. Who would that one person or a couple people be that really helped you pivot in life?
Early in my career, we just had a ton of success. I went to work for a Ford store. It was Casa Ford in El Paso, Texas. And it was in the early 80s, and used cars was finally coming around. The brands were quit brainwashing everybody that was all about new and wholesale your trades. And we just jumped face first into the used car business. And in 88, we actually outsold Kyle Worthington out in California. We were #1 Ward's Auto Dealer, Used Car Dealer of the Year. And, I was pretty young at the time and thought I knew it all. I really did. And so I moved over and took over some stores and was running them for a family. And there was a controller there. His name was Dick Marston. And Dick was just, at that point, was well in his 70s. He had been the controller of the store since the late 30s. Mid 40s, still family owned, still done. And, at first when I got there, it took over as GM. It was like, oh man, this old guy, this is bad news. He still uses a calculator that you crank with a handle and all these crazy spreadsheets and all this silliness he makes me do. And what's wrong with this guy, man? Does he not get it? And DMSs were coming around. UCS was kind of the big thing. And we were signing up with them. And he was our controller and was a great controller. And even though we took on UCS, he still didn't do it. He still checked their work, even though it was a computer, not trusting of it. And he gave me probably the best words of wisdom that I teach my staff, is that they're in this dealership. It's a business within a business. And we have the business of selling cars, which is the front end of the store. The guys out there on the front line, they're selling the cars. And in that car business side that they're in, right, that 2 and 2 equals 9, or 2 and 2 equals -30. You ate on a trade, or you overallowed, or you brought some dealer cash in, or you just loved the trade so much that you took a loss. And all of that is fine at the desk. You're going to make that minutia, you're going to make it fit, you're going to get it past the bank. Then it's got to go to the back line. And he actually put a piece of tape across the carpet from my office into the accounting office. And he made us kind of change our mindset and said, there's the car business, and that's you guys. And then there's us, and we're the business of selling cars. And in here, every time, 2 and 2 equals 4, every time. And we will chase every single penny. You guys won't, and it's not. And once you get that mindset in your store and you get them to talk to each other, you can stop all that bickering where the office thinks your people up front are idiots because they can't add, right? And you get them to understand that their math is different than your math, right? And that's how we make car deals. And then the guys in the front saying that all those girls in the office, man, they're just mean, or they're having a day, or they must be mad at somebody, or man, we need to take her. That's not what it is. You teach them to understand the business of selling cars and the car business, and they're almost diabolically opposed. It's two different worlds. And it's funny when you get to the level that I'm at now, and you have to try and wear both those hats. You come out of that office barking, screaming, how come that schedule's not clean? Where is that money? Why is it not there? And then you step across that tape and you're like, yo, bro, throw that guy another 200. Let's get this deal done, man. Come on, let's rock. What are we doing? And the girls in the office are going, what happened? What happened to the guy that was just yelling at me over 3 cents? And he told this guy, throw 200, man. It's no big deal. Get out there.
Get it going.
As you learn that, the life within your store becomes very different, and everybody starts to learn. And when we meet every Monday morning and we have our managers meeting, the girls from the office are in there, and we try and help each other understand that just because you moved it in the deal didn't move it in accounting, guys. You got to let them know. You got to get it on a WIO, or you got to get some note that tells us that, yeah, we're writing off that 200, or yes, I agreed to give him a deuce for his buddy to get it done, to pay the bill, right, that clears the account, that gets me a copy of his driver's license or whatever, right? That's the trick. But until they understand each other's jobs, you're going to constantly have that bickering where service doesn't like parts and parts hates deal. And sales, those guys are just, they're drug addicts, or whatever they want to think. They must be high to think like they do or act like they do. Is what Charles just said. It's all about communication, and it's something we focus on heavily. And sometimes, growing up Italian, as we talked about in the beginning, sometimes it hurts. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you just got to say it, and you're like, man, that hurt my feelings. Yeah, I know. I understand. And sometimes to get your attention, we have to go to those levels. But please understand, still love you. Tomorrow morning we'll come. And these guys will tell you, my Italian will explode every once in a while, and it's all about just having a fit. And 15 seconds later, I'm making fun of you and hugging, and we're laughing and going on about life. Right. It's over. It's done. We made the point. Don't do it again. Learn from it. Learn.
There's no failures if you're not. There's no such thing as real failures if you just learn and you grow from it. There's no doubt. It's actually a lesson is what that becomes. Yeah. And just it goes back to what Ron said. We are all family, and that if you understand that at your store, that even the times when you get talked like, hey, you get disciplined. When you get disciplined, sometimes it's best. You have to learn. And if they don't discipline you and they let you keep making the same mistakes, do they really love you? They don't. They're not paying attention to you. They don't really care. So that tells us that that's not a real family relationship. So you got to have somebody like the Italian mobster come in there and tell you, forget about it. You need to sleep with the fishes. But no, you definitely, but then you go back and you love them. And I'm the same way. I must be Italian. I swear. I may hit you with some hard love, but then the very next moment I'm over here hugging and loving on you, telling you how great you are. Just keep doing your thing. Because, we take this business very personal. It is my life. It's my life,
So somewhere along the way, there's got to be grace, right? It just has
Amen.
To be good and play along that line. And we all make mistakes.
100%.
If you continue to repeat them, then yes, we've got to do something about it. But we don't pick on you on it. We don't harp on it, right? We make it clear. Do you understand? Are we clear what happened? Do you see now that what you did caused this to happen here, caused this to happen? Right. And so we just need a little better communication. Let's get this straight. So.
John, you're obviously been the leader for a very long time. You know what you're doing. I'm going to tell you, I'm real excited about this interview. I can't wait to go back and break this down, dissect it, and use it as content because you're a great speaker. You need to be on more stages. Right? I'm sure you know that already. You've probably been on a few. But what I mean is that you definitely speak from the heart, but what you speak is, it's not just knowledge, it's experience. And the experience and the knowledge that you have is priceless, man. Folks, I hope you guys are paying attention to what he's saying. Because, you know, I love what April put here. She says that it's like speaking AM and FM frequencies at the same time. And it is. It's a language. You know, it's like I have a foreign mother. My mother's Korean, so for the most part, I used to have to translate. She speaks great English, but people still don't listen to the dialect, right? I listen to it very closely, so it's something that you have to just be, you know, understand that there's going to be slightly different ways of speaking. So, which helped me in life understand other people with dialect and language barriers. I had more patience with listening to the words, trying to find the key words of their conversation, things like that. That is called learning to speak language that you don't understand. Like being comfortable with speaking other people's languages, feeling good in that groove, having that family atmosphere. Man, you're a great leader, man. I think I'm going to move to Texas.
Come on. But you two need to come down, stay with us. We'll do the show live from the showroom one day, and we'll have some laughs.
I would, if you're offering that trust and believe, it's going to happen now. When words become things, I tell you.
We would love that. So we've had a lot of great visitors. Germany and all have come to visit us, and learning and part of how I ended up the National Dealer Council Chairman was part of what you said. When we got into all the trouble back in 2015 that we try not to talk about as Volkswagen dealers, I happened to be on a council at that time, and we just had some great conversations. And they were kind of hanging their heads, and this we got to get through this. And you made a great point earlier. We just tier 1 and tier 2, we showed that it affected 660,000 jobs immediately, and we helped Volkswagen understand it's not a pullback, it's a run at. And we just got to run at this thing and do it. But the only way we can fix it is communication. And that's what we focused on, was just getting it clean. And there were so many stories, and we had everybody else in the world coming up with their own view of everything. We had to clean that up, and we had to be loud, and we had to talk, and we had to put it out there. And it was a true honor to get to do that for 3 years. I can tell you, to be that person. And it helped me grow a lot, learning and seeing the other side of the franchise. And on the dealer side, we just think it's so easy. They build a car, they make money, they do this. But what's amazing is how far ahead of us they are. Just getting to go to Germany and spend time with the procurement team. We have Volkswagen as a group has 6,000 people in one building as a procurement team in Wolfsburg, and they're currently sourcing and buying parts for the 2025. Wow. So as a dealer, you guys worked in dealerships. We're like, why, that car is hot with that sunroof and with that seat color and this. Why don't we just build more of those? That stuff was bought 5 years ago. Right? It's not that simple to source. Now you reach out and you do it. And when you start learning those things, boy, you start having a different attitude in your head about how this big wheel kind of works and how to make it go. And it's been a great amount of our success to get to the levels that we have in the fun. Our thing's about having fun. Nobody wants to go to work if you're not having fun. Look at you guys. Look at what you're doing. You get to get up and do that every single morning. I get to get up and come early every once in a while and get to do these things and do the same thing. But we have a huge birthday party today where we can get everybody up and we get crazy and we do all that. We try not to have a day go by that something doesn't happen, that we don't do something to recognize somebody. We make our own little trophies. And we fill them with all kinds of different things.
I want that trophy. I'm jealous. I want.
So this is your best idea for a dealer, right? Sometimes it's money. We all love money. There's no question, and it does change our lives. But sometimes the pat on the back is better than money, and even better than that,
for me, that's all y'all want.
Some money, right, goes a long way. So take these. You just get your little white stickers. You can print them, and if the guy, and we have a tremendous amount of fun with them, and we also make fun too, right? You can get one of these for doing something great. You can get this for having the keys in your pocket and the whole damn store looks for them. Also, we go on both sides, or if you do something silly online. So these are, I think these are 90 cents if you buy them in bulk. So there's your best idea of the day.
Oh, what a great tip! Drop that out, folks. I hope you guys paid attention to that. That is a leader of a dealership showing you how to stay a leader and how to keep your team having fun. When your team comes to work and they're excited about coming to work, you're gonna have way more things happen. You're gonna have more work get done. You're gonna have more production get done. And at the end of the day, everyone's gonna be leaving with a smile.
Come on.
I mean, to include your clients, your employees, everything in the community. It's a beautiful thing to have that. Imagine what their social media is gonna look like when they post things. Imagine what their customer testimonials are gonna sound like when they do those. So John, you're awesome, man. You definitely have it right on. We have people throwing some comments out here. Brad, which actually Brad's going to be on the show Thursday. He says he's also fluent in redneck out there in Amarillo.
Yeah, I have boots on and jeans and there's no questions.
Hey, we're right here, right in the middle of Kentucky, smack dab. You know that I got some country in me.
Think about a place that you love to go to, whether if it's a restaurant or it's a bar or whatever. Right. Is it really truly that the food is that great, right? And normally it's not. It's how they made you feel. Right. And so we focus on that. We want to make our website feel exactly like it would feel like if you walked in our front door. And I think we do a pretty good job of it. We do a lot of tie-dye. We do a lot of craziness. We let we want to find those personalities. The one thing that we do in our hiring is, I'm not picking on anybody and I'm not saying anything bad about the car business, but the car business is not that hard. We make it hard because we try and drag in so many other things and we push it. Great. But it really is a very solid business, been around 125 years. And if you really just take the time to look at your employees and look at their strengths, we really try and hire from a servant's type heart, somebody that wants to be in the service industry. And that's our difference. I think I can teach you how to sell cars. I can't teach you how to care. I can't teach you how to love on people and make them feel better when they're having a tough time, and to just have patience. And sometimes it's about letting them vent, right? Just let them get there, let them go where they need to go, and let's take care of it, right? We're going to do the right thing. Let's just find out what it is, make you happy. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to run you off as a customer. I spent a fortune to get you. So we just try and do the right thing. But when you're not there, we're so big now, I can't talk to everybody. So I have to know that those people on the front line have that same vision that I have, that we take care of our customers. We just love on them, right or wrong. The customer, the old school, right? Customer seems to be always right. I spent this weekend with Mark Smith. He owns the Principal Group, and Mark would be a great one for you guys to jump on and go back. You talk about me being lucky. He got lucky enough that Carl Sewell, those of you that know who Carl Sewell is out of Texas, wrote the book Customers for Life. Mark was a complete part of that. Mark worked for him. He brought him in down near Corpus Christi and brought him into his dealerships. And together they did that and did the chandeliers and the service departments and did the deal. And then even where I luckily went through that in the 80s with them and got to read that book when it was first issued in the early 80s. And you got to see, wow, car dealerships are not about the guy with the cigar breath and racing form in his back pocket. We just had to make those changes. I worked with plenty of them. And most times you're going to sell that customer one car. And we were just very fortunate to realize you will never survive in this business unless you are in the biggest giant Florida market in the world, where you have that million bus driving by all the time with different people. But in a small market like mine, it's all about getting that customer, keeping that customer, and then helping him understand why he needs to recommend you. And we focus on it heavily. Referral is huge for us. We have to live on it. And those outside the city referrals is what we work on. So, we lead the country in selling outside of our PMA, and we enjoy it. It's a lot of work, finding people and drivers and doing it, but we love those stories, and we love to see. We've now hit all 50 states. We've delivered a car to Hawaii. We've done them all. And we love that. And it's just top of mind, right? We want you to think about, if anything happens to your car, the first thing that happens, I need to call John. I don't care what it is, flat tire, car wreck, just didn't want to start, whatever it is. We expect that call. We're going to get involved because I need you to have that same thought. If I have you on the top of your mind to do that if you're in a conversation at church or at a restaurant or whatever, and somebody says, oh my gosh, I got to buy my 16-year-old a car. I hate buying cars. Really? Why? Let me send you somewhere where you will love buying cars.
Amen.
You will have so much fun. And people are like, well, that doesn't exist. Oh, but it does. I promise you it does. Yeah. And then we want to live up to that expectation.
John,
living up to the expectation.
Man, I love it.
That makes you look at somebody and wholeheartedly be able to tell them, You don't like buying cars? That's because you haven't bought from me. It's because you haven't gone through my process, right? You haven't come to my store. Having that experience of knowing that you deliver a great time, a great product, and a great relationship allows you to operate in contagious confidence, allows you to continue to build up the people around you. And it also helps you to be able to create the culture that gets the language that you have, right? There's a language that you get at the table, and we talked about it earlier, and you know, where you can cut on each other, you're going to roast each other, you're going to take each other, you know what I mean, to the highs and lows of their emotions real quick. Sometimes it might pinch a little bit, sometimes it will also heal a lot. But getting that communication together is what's allowing your office to be able to communicate with the front. It's what's making sure that the customer feels the congruency from the message that they hear on whether it's the radio, whatever medium of media is used.
Right.
The congruency that comes from that is consistent with the heartbeat of the dealership, the leadership, and those that are actually marching it out and seeing it come through.
Right.
That's what makes that language create a culture where a heartbeat like somebody like you can jump inside of Amarillo and start getting that redneck talk once you learn them, right? They have the same way of roasting each other. It sounds a little different than when the Italians do it. And it could be misinterpreted when the Italian does it their way to the redneck. Man, it could get a little heated, right? But at the same time, everybody understands that there's that language, and you allow that to happen inside a family. You allow that to happen inside of a good, healthy culture where you can bring that correction, because the first thing that you brought was love. The first thing that you brought was honor, right? The first thing that you actually brought was a consistent love for the people that are around you, which allows that language to flourish and people to become who they are. That's why I love connecting with car guys that are doing what you're doing. See, the thing is that there's a lot of them that are actually out there. We get so pumped up saying like there's nobody out there, but we know that they're out there. We know that they're toiling. We know that they're fighting to keep their community alive. They're in moments of real conviction of considering the families that are connected to that business moving. And the things that cement those foundations is having that language that we can communicate, we can speak. This is really where we are going. And when you let people graft themselves in, like you've let Ron, right? You let them become part of the family. That's what stands up the family, right? If we kept the family revolved around the grandfather only, then it would all end with him. But the grandfather takes that and takes that focus to the children. He takes that love to the children to see their legacy grow inside of a real family. And that's what you do inside of your business. And I honor that. And I got to get to this fourth question sometime or another, right? Because I can talk forever about how grateful I am that you do what you do. But these things make you want to think. And speaking of think, I want to talk about another one of our incredible sponsors, Think Ad Group, who help you to take those customers that you have earned, that you have built those relationships, and put them back up to the forefront and use the access and the technology that you have to get back in contact with them. You can get information by going to thinkadgroup.com if you want to know more about that.
Check them out.
We want to know more about Mr. John Luciano over here, the lucky guy. The lucky guy probably took a couple hits on the chin, probably learned things maybe the hard way a little bit, right? Maybe had a couple of losses.
I've had more failures to get me to where I am than I've had success.
Maybe you had some more not so luckies, right?
But that's what makes him lucky.
Yes. So John, out of all those lessons, out of all of those bets on what's going to succeed, what's not, what has been the biggest lesson you've learned or the hardest lesson you've learned inside of all of those struggles and triumphs?
Well, you know, it's funny because you can think of it a couple of different ways. We all live in this world of selfie, right? We got the hand out there, we got the phone, we're trying to point ourselves. And I wish a little bit of that could take that selfie, and for a minute, that lens could just turn into a mirror for a second. And taking the time to just look at yourself or look at what you're doing and what other people think. And we spend a lot of time talking about that. And I think one of the lessons that we can all learn is when I younger, being very successful in the very beginning and getting that incredible chip on your shoulder and becoming that person, you start to think you're invincible, and that's when you're going to go down quickly because you know it all, and I got it, and that guy doesn't know nothing. He's just an old. And slowing down and saying, hey, the successes really don't mean anything. It's learning from those failures, taking note of it, not doing that again, and then how can I take those also and help somebody else not go through that, right? And teach and learn. Hey, guys, I know it seems like a really great idea, but we've done that. And this is what happened, and being able to do that. And sometimes just, like I said, looking at yourself in the mirror and also looking, at your business in the mirror. Every once in a while, can you step away from it? Or maybe it's Think, or maybe it's somebody like that, like you just said, somebody looking in from the forest to the trees, right? One of the great things that 20 groups do, if you're in a 20 group, is your site visits. When you go visit one of the stores, and boy, it's a peeling back of the onion, and a lot of it hurts because you really think the dollars, the financial statement says you're killing it, right? But boy, you see those little time bombs, and you walk past them every day because it's just, you're in your store. It's what it is. You need to get away. You need to step back and look and review yourself and take a couple of minutes to reflect and have somebody else kind of tell you how you're doing, and quit thinking that you've got it all figured out. Because boy, this business, it turns and it changes. Look, like what we went through with the diesel deal. Then we stepped right into, all the different deals, the pandemic, right? What's going to happen to you then? Then now look at it with the chip shortage, what's going on. The guys that are still killing it, still going through the chip shortage well, are those guys that ran a great store, that were training their employees to own their own business, run their business. They've still got a little money in the bank. They understood that they're going to be black days and we're going to get through this together, and they're not having to try and fund. And how am I going to keep my employees, and how am I going to hang on to everybody? We just don't have those conversations, right? We're good, we're solid, we take care of people, and we push forward. And leading by example instead of just with words, talking about building that culture, right? And working your customers and making them customers for life. Nothing in the car business is more important than that. We still sell. I left El Paso 8 years ago when I moved up here to open this Volkswagen store. We still average somewhere between 8 and 10 or 11, 12 cars a month that I ship to El Paso. Those customers that absolutely, and they could easily drive down the street and buy it, they don't do it. John's been my car guy for 40 years. I don't buy from anybody else. I don't do anything else. And so we make sure that they see that. And my friends that run the car business, the trailering business back and forth, Hutch and Rosa, they come in and they love on everybody, and they say, everybody, yep, now I got to take another one. Look at this great trade I brought, though. Look at this. They make a great deal out of it. And we take care of those people, and I jump right on it. And they still get the same treatment that they got if I was still there, right? Because that was the commitment I made to them years ago. If you'll buy from me this time, right? I know you don't think this is the greatest deal, but I'm going to show you why it is, because of the residual factor that's going to come with me becoming your car guy. And I was always known as the car guy, and that's what I love about y'all's name. That's what's so fun when I saw it and listening to you guys, because people should have your car guy. Yeah. We can probably help you with a plumber, but I'm going to recommend you to a great plumber that we've been able to find in our circle. I may recommend you to a guy that we tell people, call us, ask us. We have these clients. And it's not about a referral. It's not about getting any money. It's about taking care of him, because I need him to be successful as a plumber, because he might need another truck. Who's he going to buy another truck from? Are you looking at the big picture? That if you're in this business, every person you meet is important, that they know what you do. Not bragging, not always chasing the dollar, but how can I help you? Wow, you know what? I'm having a really tough time with this transmission chopper. That's great. Let me see what I can do to help you. Let me call around. Let me ask my used car manager. Maybe there's a better way to go. You know what? Gosh, don't put a tranny in that. I just found out. We looked into it. Those cars are inherent with that. Not sounding the wrong way, but you really do need to trade that car. And let me see if I can help you do that. Right?
Amen. That is called problem solving. That is called being a solutionary. And you definitely are speaking my language. That is what it takes to be successful in this business. There's a lot of us out there that think that customers are just going to keep coming to us and we're going to just be able to. No, it's not about the new customer. Yeah, granted, you want all the new ones, but it's about retaining your current client base. The more you can retain, they end up having families. They have kids. Their kids want to buy cars one day. Their friends want to buy cars one day. So you have to be able to provide each client with the exact same service, period, and treat everybody this. I mean, you're on point. What you're talking about right there is the basis of life. That is how you do good in life, not just in business, in
Absolutely.
life. And it's that's the thing. Like I believe business and life are the same thing, folks. So
it is life. It's absolutely true.
Same basis, same background. You have to do things. It's always a two-way street. You know, you talk about things. It's not just about us getting or us giving. It's about both. And and not selfishly. You don't have to worry about things coming to you. They will come to you, but you have to constantly put it out there.
Just give.
And the more you give, the better it becomes, And John, you are a living proof of that. And I love what's going on. I love your story. I love where you come from. I love how you've grown. And I love the story about you coming all the way from El Paso, going to Amarillo, and still having the clients still saying, hey, John's my car guy. And that's the whole point. That's my car guy. That's my guy. When I buy a car, that's who I buy it from.
Hey, guys, there are many times, the 8 or 10 that we send down there, there's probably another 5 to 7 that I don't actually sell. I call one of my friends down there that has a dealership. One of the guys that used to work for me, one of my managers. I've been very blessed through my career. I have about a dozen guys that were managers under me that are dealers that own stores now, because we work so hard together to try and create that culture. Where are you going with it? Why are you here today? Right? What are you focusing on? And the difference is sometimes it doesn't make sense for me to try and do that deal, because sometimes the new car deal is a better deal. I say, don't worry about it. Hang on a second. Let me call my friend Robert. I'll get you taken care of. I'll set up an appointment. I'll help you control the deal. I'll put this much in your trade if they don't want it, but let me get it all set up for you, and then you go in and see these people.
I love you.
They do the same thing. If you have a mindset, it's all about this deal or just that next deal, this is a tough business.
It is.
If you're not in for the long haul and you don't worry about that, and it's just take care of it, do the right thing, take care of the customer every single time, it will come to you. Eventually, you'll be so busy. David Ortiz started with me. He's employee number 2, still with me to this day. He's now averaging 40 to 45 cars a month. He doesn't take ups anymore. Nope. He doesn't have to talk to anybody anymore. He is so busy every day. We've had to get him some help to keep his CRM contacts, keep his follow-up going. We have a young girl, Janice, that does a phenomenal job for him, making those calls, following up, and we do it with the right deal. Hey, did you need to talk to David? Because if you do, I can have him call, but we're just following up, David and I, just to make sure everything's going well for you, right? Don't make it even so big. Don't make anything about that. But if you're not looking at that car you're selling today as what it's going to be as the next cars, how they're going to progress with it. This is the downward pressure right now. Everybody didn't think Zoom and Brew and Carvana were going to make it, right? They're putting definite pressure on us. They're making it easy. They're giving that. There's a certain clientele out there that's what they want. That's your Amazon child. Yes. He wants to jump on for 5 seconds. He wants to buy a car. He wants to be done. So this digital retailing, everything, God, for an old car guy like me, learning and being part of this, sitting in the room with you guys at now 21 with Dave and his crew, it's the smartest thing I can do, because then at least I can talk the language. Ron gets it. These younger guys, they understand it, but I can't support them if I don't understand it, right? Because then as a dealer, I'm just going to feel like, I'm throwing my money down a drain. This is silly. But you watch and you support them and you get behind that, and then you see their attitude change, and it starts to draw people in, right? Success pulls people toward it. So making them successful, like I said, my title, if you looked at my door, it says social director, right? Or zookeeper, depending on what's going on in the day. Those are my jobs, right? My job is to keep the store feeling good, and then I'm support. And what I do for them is I want them to take care of their problems or try and get things done. But all of my managers know at some point, you got to throw it to me. And I'm not going to yell at you. You don't have to hide from it. I'm just going to take care of it, because at some point I need you back on the floor. I need you back doing what you do, right? You need to learn from it. You need to see it. But there are times when they'll bring me a problem. I will absolutely just reach up, take the file away from them and say, I got it. And that's all they need to know. I got it. I'll handle this. Nobody's in trouble. I'm not mad. It happens. You're trying to run 300 cars a deal a month with 50 employees, and you're running at the speed of light like we are going to make mistakes. We factor it in, we learn from them, we talk about them on Monday morning, and we forget them, right? Amen. And they're over with. We don't harp on them. We don't crap the guy out for the day. We move on about life, okay? We don't penalize the salesman. We don't charge the income back or whatever. It doesn't do any good, right? Grow from it. Learn from your mistakes.
Amen.
Next flight to
John.
Amarillo.
Yeah, next flight to Amarillo. Now, are you hiring right now? I'm just saying. But
come on, guys. The 4th of July, we'll come spend the weekend.
Oh man, don't even tease me with any time, right?
We have one more question. Be a servant, not a. Be a servant.
Be a servant leader, man. Amen. You definitely are. What you're speaking here is you are, man. You're inspiring. You definitely are the type of leader that people are just excited to work for. I could tell, and I could tell that you have a great group of guys, because with that type of speak that you're talking, there's that culture has to be caffeinated already. Mm-hmm. You know, Lou and I were always looking for dealerships to help caffeinate. It looks like we don't need to help you at all. All we want to do is just come in and be part of it, have fun there. So we will come visit your store. That's a guarantee.
But you can see that you guys do, because listening to you very quickly at that day in the meeting, I mean, Flo and I both picked up on it and said, okay, you know what? We got to talk to these guys. We got to get these guys on camera real quick. And not for us, right? But hopefully you took it as a nod of support to you.
100%.
Like, hey, thank God somebody is out there saying that this is a good career. Somebody's out there saying you can make money at this and still be a servant and still have a good heart and still take care of people and raise your kids and have a life, right? None of that's believed. And so it's wonderful, because you guys have got such a following to hear that, and to get the opportunity to continue my quest in getting one more person to know about my store, know about who we are, and know about that the car business is a really good business. And I speak a lot, you know, we go to job fairs, we do different things, and people are very surprised about getting in the car business, because they were led a complete different belief system of what it is.
And that's the problem, and that's what we're trying to eradicate. We're trying to make sure that people understand that this business is beautiful. Our sons could be testimonies. Our kids, they can tell you this life afforded them amazing lives. My dad was caring. He did all these amazing things. He wasn't the car guy that you're used to hearing about, right? He was a true human that actually served people, loved helping people, did all the right things. And we want to have more of that. People like you, your team, that's why we wanted you on the show to talk about this, so people see that this business is beautiful, that this business is for people. It's to help not just the people we're selling, but the communities, the builders, everything. And it's amazing. So that gets me to my 5th question, man, because this is right on live, because we're going the right direction with this. You know, we just talked about 4 things. We talked about your obviously your why, your purpose. We talked about, you know, why you got in this business, how you got in this business. We talked about people that helped you get there, the influencers. We talked about your failures and what you learned from it and where you're going from it, right? But the last thing that I'm going to ask you is, what's been your greatest reward from all the stuff that you've done, all these years since the 70s, being in this business? What has been the greatest reward from all of it?
When one of those employees or one of the back people that I helped or mentor, when they call me and say, hey, look what you helped me do, right? Look at what I own, or look, my daughter's graduating from Princeton, or my daughter's graduating from here. Where in my life, right, as growing up, as whether it was a young Hispanic or whatever, where in my world would I have ever been able to afford to do that, right? Other than the fact of that, as a young salesperson, you told me this is a career. You're not taking it like a career, but you need to, because you have the aptitude to do this, and you will do very, very well, right? Your first years of selling cars, most everybody, is a roller coaster, you know, from hell. There is no doubt. Some people jump right in it and just fly to the top, but that's 1%,
right?
2%. It's those bad months, it's those tough months, and that learning of it, and being able to look back and say that I mentored, or maybe that day that guy was walking away, right, and he was going to give up and would have ended up, you know, going and being an assistant manager at Target or whatever. Not that that's a bad thing, right? But it wasn't for him. You could see the talent, right? A guy like Ron, right, that wants to take this to the extremes and take care of people and do the right thing. All the managers, all my managers, we try and look far. We talk about things. We read books together about how to grow, and they're you know, kind of financial books or different things, but how to correlate that back into your home, to put a little bit of money away, to plan, and to learn that life, you don't know what it's going to hand you every day. You know, you guys do a great job. You get up in the morning, you get us pumped up, and you talk about it. And somebody may have had a really bad night, and you don't realize how much of a difference that you're making for that guy. And all of a sudden he goes in and he has a 3-car day.
Come on.
And he's not even sure why, right? I just got, you know, had a really good day. And maybe sometime he'll think back and go, you know, I came in with all this heavy crap on my head to start the day, and I listened to those guys, and I listened to the conversation they had with whoever it was. That guy started at the bottom. Guys, I didn't get any of this handed to me. None of it. I mean, I get called lucky, and the lucky things were the people that I associated myself with through the years. And in most cases, I didn't outsmart you. I outworked you. Right?
Amen.
I outworked you in the right ways, right? I worked my customers. I took care of my people. I sacrificed deals at times, to make sure it got happen. Sold that guy a bad car. I've got to get him out of that car. It just was a bad car. So you're working the used car manager pro. We can't do this. This guy, he knows people. He knows other people. And he's not the kind of guy that's going to tell people that he got screwed. It's just going to come out. Right? It's not going to be purposed in those conversations. So let's do the right thing. Let's find a car. Let's trade him out of it. Let's step up and get this done, and working through that and making those changes. And that guy will, just go tell the world. So how are people telling your story, right? And it all depends on how you treated them.
Oh, brother, you are saying the words that are literally what's healing the business and the stigma that's associated.
Amen.
There's so many that are rising up to do so. The thing that I honor so much in just hearing your words is that you can hear your heart in it. You can hear how much you're truly wanting to see better in other people. And that's the heart of a father, right? The word says we have many brothers, but we have few fathers. And just like a great father, same as inside of the house. Right? If there's the problem, all right, daddy has to step in. He's got to grab it. Listen, nobody's in trouble. Nobody's going to be in timeout. Nobody needs to walk in shame. I got this. I'm going to fix it. I'll clean it up. I'll let mom know that it's ready here in a minute. Let's get back to, doing life and having a great time. But you bring that restoration. You also bring the healing when you do speak in correction. But you're trying to see them grow. You're pouring into those seeds to see them bring great fruit to the community. Okay. And then you have all of these other people that you're able to reach to and pull from their fruit. And then you deposit. Again, the first thing you did with us was deposit into us. You gave that encouragement to us that we were welcome here.
It doesn't hurt. It doesn't cost anything, right?
Right.
And that's the scariest part, just to give a little bit of yourself for a little bit of your time. We open our doors. I've got 2 more dealer visits in the next few weeks from other dealers that want to come and just feel it, be a part of it. And I get some people that just think we're crazy. There's no secrets in this business anymore. My God, once the internet got where it is, and there's just not. So why act that way anymore? Please come in. If I can make your dealership better somewhere along the way, it'll make mine better, and it'll make the industry better. And if the industry gets better, then possibly all the right things happen. Your store is worth more, or whatever the changes that you're looking for. But you cannot do it within your own walls of your store. You've got to get out and reach out and be a part of it.
Man,
I love it. And Brad put this down here, and obviously Ron says John has made us all better in this industry. That's 100% right, Ron. And Ron would know because he works right there next to you. Then we have Charles Higgins talking about want to open a store in Tennessee or offer a remote position. Is we need more leaders like you, Lucky. And then we got Brad down here, and you see the notes. It says Alex Flores said it best. John Lucky Luciano is a fantastic car dad. And that's exactly right. And there's not a lot of you guys out there. And so I'm so honored that we had this opportunity to sit here and have this conversation.
It's my honor, guys, to be a part of this and see it.
Dude, I'm so excited. I can't wait to do a follow-up. When we do the follow-up, we're coming to your store. We're going to sit down and do a whole thing with you and just have a good time right there at Street Volkswagen, folks. Yeah. Make sure you go see him, go see his team, because I promise you, if you're looking for a car, you're going to go to the right place. It doesn't matter if it's a Volkswagen, Ford. He will guide you to the right area to buy what you need to buy. He will make sure he does it, and it's all just to serve his community. It's all to serve his team. It's all to serve his family. So make sure that you go check him out. Make sure you check out everything he puts out there, social media. Go reach out to him. Throw some love at him. Today, when we get done with this thing, throw love at him. Send him some DMs, people. Let him know how much and how great he is as a leader, because there's not a lot of them out there. We talk about there's a lot of good car people, and there is. But in the grand scheme of all the car business, there's not enough. And when we can get more people like John and Lucky out there doing what they're supposed to do, being a good servant leader, being out there encouraging their team to grow to become somebody like them one day, somebody who's a leader themselves, somebody who can go out and share and be the servant that they're supposed to be, man, it's a beautiful thing. So let's keep this thing going. Let's keep this ball rolling. Let's not stop this momentum that we have in the car business of greatness. Let's not stop the momentum of amazing people talking about amazing things like John. Let's keep it going, man. I'm so excited. I'm so honored to have you here. I'm honored to have all these people who put all these comments out here. I know there's a lot more comments that we didn't see. I'm so excited to go back and review these, because this was an amazing interview with an amazing man. So thank you for being here this morning. I know that time is valuable. It's the most valuable thing on the planet. You gave us an hour and 10, 15 minutes of your time. We honor that. We will definitely always take something from this and share it with everybody. So thank you for your time.
I took the late flight home last night from Boston to make sure I was ready to do this. That's how honored I was.
Brother. Wow. Even more so.
I want to highlight this, guys, because I want to make sure that you all take this in your to-go cup. This is a person who has seen great things happen in his community.
Thank you.
There's a lot of deals that happen, but he's never been chasing the deals. Everything that I keep hearing is that he's not chasing the deal. He's not fighting for the deal. He's fighting for the people. He's fighting for the relationships to be cemented in order that great structures, great life can be built upon it. He is doing that on a consistent basis. He is a solutionary. He is what we all want to make sure the entire world knows is 100%
CGC approved. Woo! Yes, sir, man. Thank you so much.
I'm going to make a trophy today with that on it. I want you to know that. So you're honored. I have that on a trophy today. So.
I love it.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for honoring us today and honoring your team the way you did. You talked to each other.
Love to do the second show from the store. It'd be a lot of fun.
We will. Yeah. Well, we're going to make that happen. I promise you. We're going to do a trip in Texas. We have to. There's too many beautiful car people down there that we cannot help but want to go visit. And at your store, there's two people I definitely want to meet. That's you and obviously Ron. So
we'll set up a front desk and get Ron in there, and he's walking around here somewhere. So he's right here.
Well, you have a great day. You go out and solve as many transportation problems as you possibly can, my friend. We honor you. We love you. Thank you for being here. We look forward to having the next combo.
Love the show. Thank you so much.
Everybody. If you want to get more information about the solutions that we are brewing, make sure that you go to carguycoffee.com. This brew will be ready for you. Right now, we are still out there with the second part of Tracy Meyer's incredible episode. Folks, it's a great week to celebrate somebody wearing a red, white, and blue hat.
Know it.
Man, happy
Uncle Frank says. Right.
Whether you know it or not, we're at the middle of the year.
Wow.
We are straddling the year.
We are straddling the year right now, folks. It's flying by. Take advantage of every moment. Do not waste it. So keep growing, folks. Let's go.
Stay in the right frequency. Dance, everybody. Dance, 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 dance. Keep growing.